So Alice Fiction is appealing for its quick-witted puzzle components as well as a fast-paced and thrilling battle that results from a battle system that erases any panels within the allotted time and decides the character's number of attacks, and as well as skill activation based on deleted panels. Now if none of that made sense, then we have a doozy for you. I'm actually kind of hyped, or I guess happy, for Alice Fiction. It's a game that came out around July 27th of 2022. It's been out for about a couple weeks now, and I finally got a chance to actually play it. And in today's episode, we have a first impression. So I was able to beat majority of Act 1, or the full Chapter 1, get a hold of some of what's basically about this game, and I want to talk about my experience within that entire allotted time that I had during that entire act. So first off, after making an account, you are greeted by a 2D cutscene that would basically introduce the player to the quote-unquote metaverse of Alice Fiction. And once you do get a decent grasp of the world you're in, and the rest of the town is attacked by a mysterious monster. The mysterious monster's name is named the Mysterious Monster. So after this long, lengthy cutscene, we finally get our chance to get a hold of the actual tutorial. Now, to be honest with you, the combat essentially is pretty much a glorified bubble pop game like Candy Crush and Swords, where basically you put the characters in like in a line of 3 or a line of 2 or a line of 4 to get massive combos to unleash massive amount of damage at the end of your turn. Once your tutorial fight with a monster, you will come across the gacha system, which you do get your first 10 pull for free, and after that you are able to re-roll until you get the perfect 10 pull. I'm actually quite happy that a lot of gacha games are now implementing that re-roll system, because 5 years ago that didn't exist. If you got your first pull, that was about it, and you will call it a day. Now a lot of newer based RPG gacha games are now starting to do this re-roll feature where you get your first pull for free, and if you do not like that pull, then you could keep re-rolling. This would probably be a good stat or a good strat to do later on in a game, where more advanced players will just set up a new account and just keep rolling so they can have that nice fresh start that will pretty much get them through to most of the game. Now, from the first impression from these gacha system, I believe this is exactly a waifu gacha RPG, which there is nothing wrong with that. Gotta love our waifus. In the gacha system, there are 2 different currencies that are paid gems, which you use money to obtain, or you can get the free gems that you earn just by playing the game. The game is very generous with all the free gems that I've received, because almost any quest that I've completed, I've received a buttload of gems, and I didn't even have to spend money. I was able to ball out on the gacha system. Once you summon, you can continue in the story, in which we'll learn that the game has a elemental advantage or disadvantage system. Some people like the fact that there is an elemental advantage system, or some people don't. Some people don't like the fact of, because now that there is a elemental advantage disadvantage system, now you have to rework your team to that system, and a lot of people want to just use all their favorite waifus or their favorite husbandos and utilize them as much as you can. But in a elemental based world, you kind of have to work with that set elements and of course defeat the team in an easier process. So in this game, it is basically wood waifus are weak to fire, earth is weak to wood, water is weak to earth, fire weak to water, and lightning dart characters are equal to each other. To add even more pressure, you get to set a number of turns to defeat your enemies, which can lead to a lot of anxiety as the majority of the first act, you only get allowed 7 turns to be able to finish them, which most of the time I didn't really have a problem, as my team were already overpowered as is from me just leveling up and making sure they're good for the battle. The combat is one thing that I do like. It is very vibrant in its own way. After you successfully bubble pop all of your things and is allow the waifus to attack and the monsters to attack, like I really love the cinematic scenes that plays out. They're very well animated, and I definitely love that about this game. For all the people who do not like this feature, there is a automatic feature in this game, so you can basically just prop it up so we're throwing an auto, let them run through it, and you can be able to grind while doing other stuff. After progressing through these exact story a bit, you will gain access to a lot of other things you can do in the game, and one of them is being the resource quests, which basically allow players to grind XP and credits, which helps grind your characters. You do get the expansion items, which allows you to fully upgrade your waifus even further, which also gains access to the world memories, which are more like the equipments in the game. And you can also do hard quests, which can actually ascend the star rating of your waifus to make them a bit more powerful. You can also use memory search that'll help you search passively for X amount of hours, which the game will kind of default you to 9 hours, which is insanely long, but hey, it works. You can definitely speed up that time by using gems or keys and to be able to speed that up, and you can be able to kind of grind that out to get a good memory equipment. So Alice Fiction is definitely a decent gacha RPG that has beautiful waifus and great cinematic battles. If you want to enjoy the crystal crushing attacks or let the game run it at it on auto, then that's fine too. The game has enough content for any player who will want to play a new gacha RPG. Currently I believe there is 8 levels, and I believe throughout 8 levels there is at least 13 missions to do in each level, which should have any player well more than enough to do. This game did, like I said, did come out July 27, 2022, and the Discord is free to play with a decent gacha system, as my first few multi-pulls were met with greatness since I was able to pull some featured units right off the bat on the banners. God, you gotta love it. My luck felt good and I felt amazing. I'm like, normally I get shafted on gacha games, but this time around I didn't. I was able to pull some nice strong gachas right from the get-go. But I'll love to see how well the game holds up in a few months, and that being said, it's been your host KSDTV here at Chaotic Inc. signing out. Peace.
Manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny.